Angular rocks.
What? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of AngularAir. I'm your host, Justin Schwarzenberger. Getting a little help from my daughter here today. We got an amazing show for you, so let's get right into it. Joining us today as panelists, we've got Mike Brocky. Mike, what's going on?
Not too much. I don't have my cookie hat because I am traveling this week, so I forgot to throw my hood on.
So is that your Jedi or your Sith look?
We'll see how the episode progresses.
Nice, nice. We got Austin McDaniel with us. Austin, what's going on?
How's it going, everyone?
Always got to feel good to take that head off, right? It's got to be always hot.
So hot. It's so hot under there.
Awesome. And our guest today, we got Shmuela joining us. Shmuela, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Love the hat. That hat is awesome. What do you got on the front of that?
Can you see that? That's a ngGirls sticker.
Sweet. Sweet. Those are cool.
Yeah.
And we got Zach joining us. Zach, how's it going?
Fantastic. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. Okay, so today we are going to have a discussion show. We're going to be talking about ngGirls and ngAtl. So why don't we just get right into it? Start talking ngGirls first. So Shmuela, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is ngGirls?
All right. So ngGirls is an organization where we try to promote diversity in tech, in programming. So we're targeting at the moment women in tech. We've been doing some activities. The first activity was last November, so it's pretty new. And it's really fun. And the last one was yesterday, actually.
Nice. So really quick, before we start on that, is it ngGirls? Is it Angular Girls? How should we refer to it?
It's ngGirls. Yeah, but you know how Twitter is like if it's already taken.
Right. All right, so I wanted to clear up how you want to brand it. So cool, very cool. Okay, so this started. Tell us about the first event when you started it out. Like, how did you get? Did you come up with the idea? Was it you? Like, give us the backstory here.
All right, so I will take you back 3 years ago. I was accepted to ngGirls that was in Berlin. It was the first ngGirls event, and it was a part of PyConf. And it was the same concept of like what we do today in ngGirls. There was it was a workshop, a whole day workshop with a tutorial that we just follow this tutorial. We're sitting in groups. And we had mentors from all over Europe that came especially to help us. And really motivated me to keep on doing this, to keep on programming. I saw these great women who were into coding and all the mentors that are really, really nice. There were women and men. And they were really nice and really wanted to help us. So I got some experience there, some very positive experience. So I remember that, and actually I said it was part of PyConf, and so all the ngGirls could continue on to the conference. That's actually where I got this hat. It's actually a red hat. Oh, maybe need to take it off a little bit. It's a bit hot here in Israel. Since then, I haven't been doing lots of Python, but I started learning and getting into Angular, which was really, really awesome. Then I remembered this event, and I thought, hey, why not do the same? So I got in touch with the ngGirls, and they supported me with their resources, which are open source. So ngGirls resources are also open source. The tutorial is there on GitHub and Gitbooks. And we just organized, me and a few friends, an event. We found a place. It was in Google campus here in Tel Aviv. we started promoting it on Facebook, because that's how you promote things in Israel here. So lots of mentors came to help us, and a lot of participants applied. So it was a really, really great event. So we have an introduction in the beginning, introduction to ngGirls, to Angular, how to work with the CLI. And then they start working with the tutorial, and of course with the help of the mentors. That usually is from 9 to 5, a whole day. So some people volunteer and even take a day off from the work. That's it. So they do a tutorial of a to-do list in Angular with the Angular CLI, and trying to put in some best practices also, because it's really important when you start. And by the end of the day, of course, not everybody gets to the same point. Not everybody finishes the tutorial, but we totally support them afterwards if they want to keep completing the tutorial. They can talk to us and to the mentors, and we'll just help them.
So how was that first one? Was it a lot of work to put together? I mean, what was the expectation of that as far as how many people you got to come in, both the mentors and the attendees? Was it kind of, were you excited about, was there a large number that came up? And I mean, I know in terms of like starting up a user group or starting up some type of event like this, it's probably a lot of anxiety of, am I going to reach the people? Am I going to get the people? Am I going to get the help? And what's all it going to entail? Like how was that first experience for you?
Wow. So, well, first of all, here in Tel Aviv and in Israel, we've got lots of companies and lots of places that can host such events. And me being already in the meetups scene and helping up and even organizing my own meetup, I knew how to reach for these companies and places. And here, Google Campus just gives a free space to any event, community event. So I just had to pick a day that it was, free for during the day. I don't really have experience in promoting things and reaching out to sponsors, so that was a tough thing to do. I only got some sponsors, but it was just enough for this event. And like I said, Facebook is really useful tool for promoting events to the people themselves, to the participants and the mentors. So we've got a few Facebook groups about JavaScript and about Angular. So these were my channels, my main channels. So we've got really the perfect size of group size and number of participants and number of mentors. So we've got like exactly the number that we needed. So of course we had more participants applying, but in the end some of them couldn't come, and maybe some of them were too advanced in Angular, so this wouldn't be the right thing for them. They could maybe apply to some other activity that we might organize. So in the end, we had exactly the right number of participants, which was something like 45 and 15 mentors. And we had the whole space, the whole house full. And so you could see the whole open space here in the campus. I'm here, by the way, I'm at the same place right now. We have the whole space like packed, and everybody was sitting on their computers and really into it, really concentrating with it. And that from the side, that was wonderful. That was really, really what made me feel great and made me see that this event was successful.
That's sweet. That's sweet. What was the attendees like in terms of, are they people that were currently working on Angular at a job? Are they people trying to get into Angular, get into tech? Like, was it a mix? Do you have kind of a feel for that?
There was a mix. So apparently we couldn't reach to real enough to beginners, but I think that's also okay, because to start working with Angular, you should know a little bit about the concepts of programming, at least. So either JavaScript or something else, and to understand just a little bit HTML. So that's okay. If you're really a total beginner, there are lots of other options for you here in the area, in Israel and in the world. There are lots of other organizations that can do that. And we also think about doing some courses or events for beginners. But step by step. So we had actually one participant who was really a beginner in programming. So I put her with a mentor who was also only starting to learn Angular, but already knows the programming, and she's been building websites in other programming languages or other frameworks. And the other ones, the majority were students or some participants who were just starting out in the field, maybe just got into a job and wanted to feel more comfortable about it and to gain more experience. But I think mostly students. The event we had yesterday, we had lots of soldiers who are also into technology in their role in the army, but also only starting up and learning this and really wanting to get into web and Angular. So that was really awesome. I think about half, maybe just a bit less than half of the participants were soldiers.
That's sweet. That's sweet to be able to reach everybody like that. What are you? So do you have the material prepped out? Do people, are they expected to kind of go, okay, I'm attending this, I'm going to go ahead and kind of do some prep work on my machine, get ready and bring my stuff in? Or is it something that's like they kind of do it there? Or do you provide machines for them to do it while they're there? Or kind of what the details on that?
We want the participants to be able to take the work back home and keep working on it. And well, most of the people have laptops today or can borrow from someone. So we ask them to bring their own laptops. And we also have an installation guide that they have to go through beforehand, but it's okay if they don't, and we can do it quickly on site. The mentors are there to help the participants even before the event. So the mentors get their group about a week before the event, and they get in touch with them and ask them how they're doing and if everything's all right, and if they have any problems with the installation and so on. And something also that's important for me to say about the tutorial, I didn't write the tutorial all by myself. I kind of prepared this application, this to-do list, and then I organized meetup, which the participants of that meetup, boys and girls, they each got kind of a commit in this application and had to write a chapter of what to do to get to this commit, to the end result. And that's how the tutorial was built, chapter by chapter. And of course, people have been helping me also since the this meetup. They've been giving comments and pull requests, and there are things that change. For example, the way you install Angular, which is not Angular-CLI anymore. So of course, everybody helps with that. So it's also a community effort. So that's also really, really cool, I think.
So I think it's great from the community to be able to help foster bringing other additional people, especially girls, into the community. How about bringing mentors in? How do you go about finding mentors? Or if somebody's out there watching now and says, hey, that's something I know Angular, I've been doing Angular for a bit, I'd like to help mentor. How do you get involved?
Well, you just have to reach out for us. Like, if there isn't an event that's been organized in your area, then you can say that you want to organize an event or maybe help organizing it, and and we'll help you with that. But if there is an event, then there's a form, an application form. So we get all the data about the mentors, and then we just talk to them, and we prepare them also before the event. We tell them what to expect, how everything is going to be, how to work with the participants, how to talk to them, what to show them. For example, we tell them that it's really important to show that even you don't know everything, that you also search all the time on Google and Stack Overflow. You always look for answers.
Who doesn't?
I don't know, some people. You're not doing this? Well, I do. And so so the mentors, we reach out for them, like I said, in the events here in Israel through other meetups, for example. So we send the message out to all the Angular meetups and JavaScript meetups, and they don't have to be Angular experts, really. They don't have to be, because if they're already working as the web programmers, they can quickly go over the tutorial and what is expected. And sometimes some mentors are also come by surprise. For example, Zach, that we have here, when we had ngGirls at ngVikings, we had a whole group of mentors, but then at the same day, Zach said, hey, do you want another mentor? Can I join in? And of course, if you're into this and you want to help, then you're very welcome. So that's how we made our connection.
Awesome.
And actually,
go ahead.
I'm actually kind of curious too, because the first time I met you was at ngVikings, and I'm curious about the progression of the ngGirls events and what are the major differences you've seen between the events, and if some events are more successful to others, what do you think contributed to that?
Let me see. So we had this first one in Tel Aviv. The second one was in ngVikings, which I also think was very successful. We had one in ngConf, and then another one in Israel here yesterday. Now, another mentor of ngVikings, that's Robert. He really liked the idea, and he initiated also ngGirls events back home in Germany. This is a sign that the event was really successful, when the mentors want to organize their own events and to really get into ngGirls organization. And we also get feedback from the participants. So I go over it. And well, most of the feedback is really good, and some is also more, there are some ideas and some things that they would like to better next time. So I think the amount of feedback you get is also a measurement for how the event was successful. So it's not about if the feedback was positive or negative, but it's about how involved the people are after the event. And that's how I see the success of an event like this. What do you say?
I like it.
Do you agree? Yeah.
So let's talk about can you talk a little bit about the state of diversity in tech over there in Israel and where you're at? I mean, I know certainly here in the United States, we have a lot of people we're we're trying to get this movement and this ground swelling up of, hey, let's make this change. Let's start helping being more inclusive and getting all these different groups of people more into tech and more welcome into tech and more comfortable and helping grow all that. What's the state of that over where you're at?
Well, so here in Israel, of course, the situation is not perfect like in the rest of the world. It also depends where you're looking, but in the Tel Aviv area, which is really the hub of the startup and high-tech world, it feels better in some places, but it feels worse in others. For example, there are big and medium companies such as Checkpoint and Fundbox who have women developers. And it also goes for all other types of diversity, all different kind of other populations. So successful there. But you have, on the other hand, small startups and other companies may have no women at all as programmers. So so it's a really interesting situation. So now one of the things that help, yes, it's being able to work at this in the army. So many people come to become programmers after they've had some experience, either as in high school as teenagers or in the army. Many people learn this during their work in the army, and many women are participating in this also. So I think this really also gets them into this and motivates them. But I also think that in schools, we still have to work at giving computers lessons to everybody, to get the girls also more experienced with this, and to show them that it's not just a guy's thing. It's still not perfect in that sense. Of course, we're far from perfect. But I am happy to say that there are many women developers here, and I've got a bunch of them on the ngGirls team. So I see there is a lot of hope. And I hope that in other places in the world also, for example, if the situation is less, a bit worse, or on the other hand, there are a lot of places that we can learn from, that the situation there is much better. Actually, also another really interesting thing about Israel, the community of religious Orthodox people, and in the view of other secular Israelis and the whole world, we don't see them really as tech people, science people. We don't see them like that. But then recently, a lot of, particularly women, there are, I think, more women developers which are religious Orthodox in this community. And I talk to them and I'm really surprised, because they're really into this. They really love their job, and the community allows this. And so that's, you can always learn something new about different populations, different communities, even the ones right next to you. So really just, I was really surprised, and I love it.
Yeah, that's really one of the most important things about this, right? Is the fact that you don't know what's out there. You don't know how people are and what they have to contribute and give and make everything around us better. And bringing those people in and giving that opportunity is going to allow us to experience that, right? And to just become better as a whole. And that's why it's so important that we identify that this type of stuff is going on, and how do we break that barrier down, and how do we welcome everybody so that we can, accomplish these things as a unit and learn and grow from everybody as a whole, right? What have you learned from your attendees, as well as the people at Mentor and stuff, in terms of what you're hearing, like what's needed more? Like, are people saying like, it'd be great if we got X or got more focus on Y? You know, we mentioned some of the things in you know, welcoming in the education system and the training, and making it more feeling like, oh, that's not for me. But what other things are you kind of hearing and learning and pulling from your attendees and stuff of how we can help them make that better?
One thing that I hear a lot is that they want continuity. They would really love a meetup, or somehow to organize a weekly meeting where they can work on a particular project and really get into things. So we're actually trying to do that. We also have a pilot of having more experienced women to work on an Angular project from scratch. And we'll see how this pilot goes, and then offer it to everybody, just to you know, suggest some kind of open source project or something for some nonprofit organization that they will meet and work on this project weekly, on a weekly basis. And I think this is the biggest demand that I hear. I also hear about, of course, wanting to teach younger women. Yeah.
What about like the language and the way, you know, we talk within the tech community, and the terms that we use and things like that? I mean, is that something that you're seeing is super important in terms of us changing that lexicon of how we describe things currently, or is that not as much of a, you know, barrier to entry?
Well, I don't think that we should change the way we talk to have a special lexicon for unexperienced people, because these are the terms that we use, and they have a meaning. There is something behind it, so we shouldn't change it, especially for someone else. But every one of us has learned these terms, and now after learning them and getting used to them, we use them fluently. I think one of the things that we can do during the workshop and during the other events is just is to teach behind these terms. So maybe our role is to recognize these terms, these special words, and to say, okay, wait a minute, do you know what this is? So let me tell you. And we really also tell the participants that they're really free to ask anything all the time. That's really, really important. But still, a lot of them are too shy for that, or think that they can manage by themselves. We would really, really like to see them ask more, because that really helps. Also, for me as a programmer and my other programmer friends, guys and girls, one of the things that really helps is an environment that you can feel ask anything, and that whoever will answer you will do that in a really kind way, and show that it's okay, you know, it's okay not to know. It's perfectly okay to ask. There are no stupid questions, right?
Yeah, and that's something
Only
that's
the
not
questions that are not asked.
Yep. And that's not only between you as a teacher and them as a student, but that's everybody else that's around that environment at that given time, right? I think it's important for everybody who's there. So if you're sitting in a meetup, you're sitting in one of these workshops, and somebody asks a question, and they're not asking you, but you're there, you know, you can have subtle ways, your body language, your just responses, your little noises here and there, to help indicate to them that like, hey, yeah, because I think there's a lot of most of the part where people think like, I don't want to ask that question is because they look around at their peers and other people and they're like, I don't want them to think that I'm stupid or I don't know something, right? So just these little reinforcements that you as an audience, you as another member can give to them is going to make them feel better about asking that question and make that environment safer, right? And I think that's important for all of us to think about because we really do want everybody, any skill set to be asking these questions because we're all going to learn from that, right?
Yeah, that's right. That goes to every meetup that we have, every event, every workplace. Thing important to make everybody feel more comfortable. It's not just a diversity thing. It's great for everyone. There are always people who are more juniors who feel afraid for their position or something like that, and would be a bit more shy to show that they don't know everything. And this can really build up a frustration. So that really goes to all of us.
Yeah, it's definitely a much bigger issue that you really need to embrace what you don't know or that you don't know things. Because I look back in my career and some of the questions that I asked people and I was like, what was I thinking? I should have known that, or I could have looked this up. But at the same time, that's what helps you learn. That's what helps you grow. So
you still ask those questions to me.
Yeah, I know. I like to make you feel smart.
And in a group setting, it's not only you learning that, but everybody else who hears your question and gets that answer gets to learn from it. So, you know, that's another benefit there. So it's, again, it just like Shmuela said, there's no stupid questions, you know, because somebody's going to learn something from that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So love what you're doing here with all this stuff. It's very awesome. It's got to be very rewarding for you, I'd imagine, to be having this impact and helping spur and make this change. We really appreciate it across the board. Where can people find out more about this? Domain name, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so ngGirls.org. You can see some information about how to contact us in the next events. We also have the Twitter handle, of course, ngGirls. Sorry. Just look for us. We have a meetup group on meetup.com, also ngGirls. And we have a Facebook group, but it's not active enough, but maybe now it will be. So like I said yesterday, I really want to tell about this event. We had a real awesome event with mentors that I think you guys can recognize their names. We had Pascal Precht and Ari Lerner and Christoph. I forgot his last name, Chris. Who else? Let me look really quickly. Christopher Noring, yeah, sorry. Sani Yusuf, of course. Minko Getchev was there. Asim Hussein, and of course my my partner in ngGirls, Robert Willemelis from Germany, and we had a few local. Other local mentors from Israel. So all these mentors came especially for a conference 2 days ago, and I just asked them if they want to volunteer for this. So that was entirely volunteer basis. They could have done something else here in Israel. They could have had a whole day for themselves to walk on the beach or to travel here. But no, what they decided to do is to come and help out to all these women to get into coding, to get into Angular. So that's really, really amazing. And that's also a sign that something here works, that people want to help and people want to support these kinds of things. To all the mentors that came yesterday, really, it really warms my heart.
Awesome, very awesome. Sounds like just things are going great with that whole program, that setup. So really, really looking forward to more. Speaking of more of that, let's talk about NG Atlanta. Zach, so ngGirls is going to be a part of that, but there's this underlying, mission and idea of what NG Atlanta came about to be. Why don't you give us a little rundown on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very, very excited about having ngGirls at ngAtlanta. I think it's going to be really exciting. Hopefully the biggest event for ngGirls so far. We'll see how many people we get back in there. But I guess it would kind of help to share the start of ngAtlanta, if that's okay. It really started the first week of April. And my boss and I were actually having a conversation in his office, and he told me kind of a heartbreaking story about how his 8-year-old daughter came home one night and said she didn't want to be a scientist anymore because girls can't be scientists. And he and I looked at each other, and we were both pretty upset about that. And the week later, I'm coming back from vacation, and my kids are in the back seat sleeping, and I'm looking at my daughter, and I'm thinking, you know, what can I do to make tech more welcoming for her? I can support women in tech on Twitter. I can have women on my team and make sure that I'm you know, helping them to achieve everything they can achieve. But what can I do that's bigger than that? And I thought, well, I could try and organize a conference and make one of the goals for the conference to have at least 50% of the speakers be women in tech. And once I decided to set my mind on that, I got home, hopped on Twitter, started messaging people, and 3 days later, 85% of our speakers were women. And that was a big shocker, because initially I thought that was going to be really hard to do. And once you make that one of your goals and you publicize that and you say, this is something that we believe in, you'd be really amazed at the people that circle around and want to help and support that. We since expanded the speaker base, and we've added more speakers, and right now we're at 71% of our speakers are women in tech, which is still amazing. And we're going strong.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that I think a lot of people were waiting for these type of opportunities. Like Shmuela, you mentioned all the people that were like, "Yeah, I want to help out, right? Let's do this." And Zach, all this, you know, the quick people jumping on to have this. People want to have these avenues of, I want to help, I want to do this, I want to promote this, I want to, you know, go on this mission, but where do I do that at? And this conference this idea that you came up with and this platform is, it's awesome. I think people just jumping at it, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I thought that the speakers were going to be the hard part, and that was the easy part. So now I've actually set another goal for myself and the other organizers to try and get 50% of our attendees to be women, which is a much harder challenge. At least it appears to be a harder challenge, and that's what we're working towards right now.
Yeah, that's got to be a big challenge, right? Like, how do you reach that and connect with that many potential attendees and stuff? I mean, not to mention the fact that you're putting together an entire conference, which has its own giant challenges, right?
Well, I think that the first part really came down to making sure we had a very clear code of conduct and that was published and available to everybody. That was one of the first things we put on our site. We've been trying to connect with different organizations that support women and other underrepresented groups. We reached out to Women Who Code, Girl Develop It, a lot of other organizations, and are giving them free tickets. We made it really easy for people attending the conference to donate as part of their ticket purchase, to sponsor underrepresented people to come to the conference. I mean, we're doing anything and everything we can think of to try and help. So, and we even started a scholarship program. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're trying to do. And I love ideas and feedback, because we're always trying to make it better.
And I think you're doing a really good job at promoting that you're doing that stuff too. I mean, you're making it very visible that, like, all these things that you just mentioned, you're constantly getting the news out there that you have those things available, right? So people are aware that they can do these sort of things, and they have these channels and stuff, and many multiple ways that people can help this movement, this goal, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So, okay. So give everybody the details about ngAtlanta. When is it? How do they find out more information? Where do they buy tickets? That sort of thing.
Yeah. So February 1st and 2nd is the actual conference. And it's a single track conference, and we were extremely intentional with it being single track. we wanted to make sure that we weren't putting a new speaker or a female speaker against a male speaker, or just, we didn't want any issues around that. So we decided we're going to go single track. That way everyone has equal time. Everyone's going to get an equal audience. And I thought that was the best way to handle that. We also have 2 days of workshops. There's tons of workshops being created right now, and we're constantly tweeting those out and updating our site. And the website is ngAtl.org, ng-atl.org. And tickets are up right now. We have our early bird tickets going, and that's it's going pretty well.
And we do have a discount code, right, for AngularAir listeners?
Absolutely. There's a little bit of a plug for AngularAir. Yeah, so there's an AngularAir discount. It's 10% off our early birds even. So that drops the price even more. So definitely huge supporters of AngularAir. We absolutely love AngularAir.
Awesome. And that's AngularAir, all one word, right?
All one word, yep.
And is it case sensitive? I brought this up last week, and I'm like, I don't know if it's case sensitive or not, or so.
I could check right now. I think I did it case sensitive.
Okay.
I could add both to fix that.
So it's AngularAir, all one word, maybe capital A for Angular and Air. So
yep, it's capital A, capital A.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so
wait, I want to continue. So AngularAir and ngAtl, will we be able to do a show from ngAtl?
Absolutely. I already asked for it. So hopefully it happens.
Yeah, we're definitely going to plan that. Maybe multiple shows. I don't know. Maybe we'll do some interviews and stuff like that. But definitely want to have a presence there for sure. For sure.
Well, and I also want to call out something else too, because it looks like a lot of the companies are also getting behind what it is we're trying to do, and it would be really nice to shout out to GitHub, because they saw what we're trying to do with ngGirls, and they wanted to participate with that. So they're going to be adding a free workshop for ngGirls as well to teach them Git flow, which is, if you know Angular and you know Git, you're dangerous. So that's a good thing, right? So that's really exciting to see that enterprises and other companies in the community are getting behind ngGirls, and they're extremely supportive of it as well, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thanks GitHub. Thanks Zach for helping with that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's going to be a great topic. Obviously, something that's key to kind of the whole ecosystem of building and writing code and stuff like that. So that's going to be really cool. And then from GitHub, that's going to be great, I'm sure. Git flow, that's challenging, but it'll be great. So what?
I still Git flow.
What was that? Say it again.
I said I still struggle with Git flow. I should go to that one.
Yeah, right, totally. So what kind of topics and speakers we got showing up at ngAtl?
We have a whole gambit of speakers. Most of the topics are going to be around Angular and technology surrounding Angular. But at the same time, we also have topics on community building, compassionate coding, all really essential stuff for not just the actual code that you put out, but also how do you keep those around you and build that community. So we're trying to get it to be about a quarter of our talks are soft skills talks, so that we can make sure that everyone's really well-rounded.
And is that going to, do you have plans to stream that or share those videos online?
Absolutely. We're for sure going to share the videos. If we could find someone to help us live stream it, maybe AngularAir, that would be something that would be really exciting to do, because I know there's a lot of people who want to attend that may not be able to make it, and we want to make sure that we can make that available to them.
Very cool. Very cool. So this your first conference that you've ever organized?
Yes. So it's a little scary because I had to sign on the dotted line for the venue, the food and beverage, all of that. And that's a scary moment when you commit to the amount of money it takes to run a conference. But luckily, I'm really lucky to have people around me who have done it. One of our co-organizers just did We Rise in Atlanta. Angel Banks, she's been fantastic. Chris Judd, who's out of Columbus, Ohio, he helps with the Code Mash conference. He's helping out as well. And Frosty from ngConf has been giving advice, and obviously nobody can forget Tracy Lee. We just wrapped up ng Cruise. She's been helping quite a bit too. And just everyone in the community base has been extremely helpful, giving advice, and I've been incredibly appreciative of all the help and support we've gotten.
Yeah, that's a lot of work to do all that stuff. Is it a new hotel that's being built right now or something?
Yeah, the hotel's not even done yet. So it's under construction. It's supposed to complete the month before our conference. We're actually their first tech conference. They challenged us to try and take down their Wi-Fi because they're in a Google Fiber hood, and they think it's not possible to cap out their Wi-Fi. And I think we could try to do that. And a lot of Angular CLI installs will definitely help. And the other interesting thing is that we're also trying to push their capacity limits as well, so they could fit 1,000 people. And we're going to try and hit that our first year, which is a extremely aggressive goal, but hopefully we can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we got some challenges there. That's pretty cool. I think the Wi-Fi challenge will be something that a lot of people, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? You're like, oh yeah, I want to take that challenge on. We could totally smash that thing. But then you're like, are we going to be without Wi-Fi because we did that? Right. So do we hold off and do that the very last day or what?
Oh, I like that idea, because then you could tell everybody in the audience to try and live stream the conference if you get that set up. And then you have everybody sitting there trying to watch a live stream.
That sounds like horrific.
Yeah, well, that number, trying to get that many attendees. I mean, I don't know. You've got a really solid speaker lineup, a bunch of topics that sound super valuable, right? And yeah, then just the whole mission and what the plan is of what you're trying to accomplish with this whole thing. I mean, I mean, for me, when I saw it, I was excited about it. It was a must-attend event for me, and I got to imagine it's just a matter of really getting the word out as much as possible. But once people see it, they're going to see the value in it for sure.
Oh yeah, the speakers are just amazing, and there are new faces in there too. But there's a lot of speakers that everyone's going to know, and some speakers that don't usually speak at Angular conferences too. But that's pretty exciting to see other people coming along and supporting this mission.
Yeah, and the other thing that we talk about a lot is the fact that these conferences give you an opportunity to network with our community, with our Angular community, which is super inclusive and super friendly. And so it's not just about coming there for the topics and for the content, but it's also being around everybody in our community and getting all the emotion that comes out of that and the passion that grows out of that and the connections. Those are all going to be there as part of being there at this event, right, in February. So much value, People, you got to go.
So I know it's still a while away, or a decent while away, Zach, but with this all coming up, and I know you've got your hands full trying to organize and everything else, but some sort of motivation has to be there, some sort of excitement. What are you most looking forward to with the event?
Dang it, Mike, I hate you. You're gonna make me cry. I wanna be able to look at my kids and say that we did this, and this is what I did to give back to the community, and this is, dang it, I hate you, Mike. It's just that feeling of showing that it's possible and that we can do this.
It is. It's such a great mission, and so important for us as a community. Not only in Angular and in tech, but across the board in humanity, to be able to, focus on these things and do these things for our fellow human beings that we exist with, right? And to put that effort in and to help draw other people out that want to do that sort of thing, right? Again, it's not just about you creating this platform and going on this mission by yourself, but there's so many other people that want to do that with you and want to help with you, and you're giving this opportunity for everybody to do that. So you're not just empowering the inclusion of other people into our community, but you're empowering the people that already exist in here to help contribute and make that a reality as well. So we certainly appreciate everything that you're doing with this conference, and we're really looking forward to it. You should be super proud of the work that you're doing, and I know your kids will be super proud. I hope to do the same thing with my kids. You know, my daughter to be proud as well. Make this situation that everybody can be a part of.
Yeah, we need to get your daughter more involved rather than just running in at the beginning of the show. We'll get her on a future episode.
Yeah, she does a lot of stuff. She does a lot of dance. She's been dancing since she was 3. And she's just starting to get into theater and performance, and she loves that. You know, she does tech pretty well.
Shy Resnick.
What's up?
Future Shy Resnick.
Totally. She's a comedian as well. She loves doing that. She's not as excited about the tech stuff. Maybe someday she will, maybe she won't. Whatever she wants to do, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, but having a daughter, it's the same sort of thing. I mean, you think about having a kid in general. I mean, you think about these things of giving them this opportunity to be a part of all these great things, right? And it's important that we do whatever we can to provide those platforms and provide that support. And so it's great.
That's an excellent point. Zach, quick question. So I know part of the issues with some conferences, and not issues, but one of the challenges is to provide activities for people traveling there, whether or not they're bringing kids with them. Do you have anything planned yet, or possibly in the works to be planned for kid activities or anything like that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. One of my favorite conferences is Code Mash, and they're in Sandusky, Ohio, and they have the advantage of being at an indoor water park for their venue. And it's incredibly kid-friendly, and they actually have a kid track that runs at the same time, and they have more kids than adults, which is incredible for a conference. And I looked at doing something similar for ngAtl, but just the logistics of organizing a conference and also running a parallel kids conference, it's something I didn't want to try and bite off the first year, but it's definitely something I would like to look at doing, in subsequent years, assuming everything goes well, because obviously that's the feeder program. I mean, you look at sports, they all have feeder programs, and that's how we get people into tech, is by getting them excited when they're young and keeping them excited.
Well, maybe there's somebody out there that can help you on that mission, somebody listening, or somebody can help contribute, a solution for that, potentially even earlier on, that could step up to the plate and help. I don't know.
Absolutely. They could hit me up or the conference up on Twitter. That'd be fantastic.
All right. So any last details on that? We got the domain name. People can buy tickets right now. How long does the early bird run for?
Early bird is going till the July 31st.
Okay, and do you have anything worked out with the hotel that as they buy tickets, people can get rates through the hotel or whatnot?
So the hotel's a funny one because we're trying to get 1,000 people to the conference, and the hotel, it has 300 rooms. So that's an adventure. But there is a lot of hotels nearby. The way it's going to work is we're going to go down the ticket list. So the people who bought tickets first will get first dibs on rooms, and the people who bought workshops and the conference will get first dibs amongst that. So hopefully everyone gets what they need, and we'll try to make sure that everyone at least gets a room and has a way to get to the conference.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're near the top of the hour, so we better wrap it up, do some picks, and call it a day. So let's get into the picks. Mike, you got something?
I have one pick. TypeScript 2.4 was released about 15 minutes before the show started. So it was release candidate, I believe, sometime last week. But it is 2.4 is out. So string enums is one of the big features within there, as well as a few other things. The link will be in the show notes.
Cool. So then the new version of CLI here pretty soon that'll support that TypeScript? Maybe?
We'll see what my afternoon looks like.
Right. Cool. All right, Austin, what do you got?
Mike stole my string enum comment about 2.4. So I've done this so many times, enumerations as constants and whatnot. So those are now first-class citizens as string enums now. Also, I mentioned Webpack 3 last week. I actually had some time to upgrade and check. I'm suggesting everyone to check it out and upgrade as soon as possible. I had 0 breaking changes, and I shaved about 100 kilobytes off my download package. So pretty big, awesome changes. Shout out to Sean for overseeing all that.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. My pick is Grid Critters. It's a second story course by Dave Geddes. I don't know if you guys have, anybody's seen the first one, the Flexbox Zombies. Pretty cool. He's starting the pre-sales of his second course called Grid Critters, and it's all about CSS grid and stuff like that. So it should be pretty amazing. So that's my pick. All right. Shmuela, what do you have?
All right, can I share my screen? I want to show you the magic.
All right.
Do I
Spotlight's
have to
on you.
do something for that? Screen share?
So you just, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna see all my tabs now. Oh, that's gonna, I got lots of tabs on Chrome. It's killing it. Okay, so this is the ngGirl website. But besides that, something old and something new. So something old is the Octatree. It's a Chrome plugin for GitHub, in which it opens up the whole tree of the project here on the side. So you can see now the Angular project and just browse through the files and go to a specific, through the folders and go to a specific file and also download it from this tree. So I find it really, really useful just to browse through projects like this one, like Angular. The second one, which is new, is the talk by Christoph from Tatra. We had the meetup last week in Denmark, and he was talking there about machine learning. So this is a really great talk, and I really recommend you to watch it. Oh, stopping the screen share.
One other thing on that same tool that you were showing, the Octatree, there's also one called Octolinker, which lets you actually be able to click the packages. Like if you require a package or something, you can actually click the package and it'll take you to that like NPM repo. So that is like, that's my favorite one. It is so helpful if you're like looking at a project and you just like really quick want to see what this package is or something like that. It's totally suggested.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. Very cool. All right, Zach, what do you got?
I got 2. One was something that I did last night, but I think more people should do. We, as a conference, use Webpack, and we decided, you know what, we should contribute to Webpack. So we got on online, and gosh, I forgot the website and blanking out. The Open Collective. So we hopped on Open Collective and set up a auto draft so we can contribute back to Webpack. And since we all probably use Webpack, I think it's something we should all, try to get organizations we're involved with to do that. And the second thing is Moana. I am absolutely stuck on that movie. I love Dwayne Johnson, and I just can't help running around the office saying, "You're welcome." And it will probably get me fired one of these days, but it's still fun. And yeah, I absolutely love that movie.
Yes, that I just watched it for the first time a couple nights ago, and it was actually late at night, and I saw it was available on Netflix. I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna watch it. And my wife was already in bed. She comes out thinking that my daughter's staying up late watching it, and she sees me on the couch watching it. She's like, I did not expect that. And I'm like, this movie's great. So yes, awesome movie. All right, Shmuela, Zach, thanks so much for coming on the show, taking your time, talking about these topics and this stuff. We're really looking forward to more ngGirls and looking forward to ngAtl and that conference and all of the opportunities it brings for everybody to be included. Really appreciate it. So thanks. We'll see everybody next week. Later.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much
Thank
for
you.
having us. Thank you. See ya.